Here we go. This is the section where we're going to start diving into some of the technical information on large language models. It's not going to be hard for you to understand this if you don't have a background in this sort of thing, because we're going to keep it high level. And because it's high level, I may take some liberties here for you hardcore machine learning engineers out there. But I think that to be great at prompt engineering, it's important that you have a fundamental understanding of how in the world this incredible technology works under the hood. Plus, it's important that when we use technical language, that we can be confident that we're talking about the same thing. It's always good to be able to use the right lingo when you're talking about something, right? So it'll make you a better prompt engineer to understand LLMs and to see how all the pieces fit together, while at the same time demystifying them a little bit. So let's jump in. First, I wanted to sort of break down the sector and where we are in it. You can see here I have this chart, starting with artificial intelligence is the big one, and then machine learning is a subset of that, deep learning is a subset of that, NLP or natural language processing is a subset of deep learning. Large language models are found here within NLP. And then we have prompt engineering, which you'll see overlaps with all of these, including large language models, but then also breaks off and is a bit of its own thing. That's where it intersects with basically every other field in the world. So let's break down this chart a little bit more so you can understand it, though. The key one here is this pink circle, natural language processing. NLP refers to the branch of computer science, more specifically the branch of artificial intelligence, focused on giving computers the ability to understand text and spoken words, the same way human beings can, right? It's got natural language right in there, and it's about processing natural language. They named it pretty well. And that's in contrast to understanding computer language, which is code, right? Well, that's not entirely true, actually. Computer language is zeros and ones, and an interpreter takes code and turns it into zeros and ones that the computer can then understand. But that's getting a little bit beyond what you need to understand here. I will include a link to a lesson from another course that you can take a look at if you want to understand this in more detail. But otherwise, let's keep going. The key thing that I want you to understand here is that until LLMs came along, machines couldn't really understand natural language. They could only understand computer language. And that ability to understand natural language is really important and what makes these models so easy for the average person to use. So if you are someone who actually wants to create large language models and conduct research into the development of artificial intelligence, then natural language processing is probably the field you want to be in, although there is some debate about whether NLP can ever actually become true artificial general intelligence. But putting that aside, for most people, the vast majority of people, you're not going to need to actually understand natural language processing. Instead, you're going to need to understand prompt engineering. That's the skill that you're actually going to need to use in your life and in your career in order to utilize the power of artificial intelligence. That's where the rubber meets the road. It's where all this incredible technology comes together to form something humans can actually use to do things more efficiently and effectively. So now that we have a lay of the land, let's jump into large language models specifically. And once again, they have named these quite obviously. You know, these names aren't meant to be overly complicated. Once you actually break them down, it makes sense. So here we have LLMs, large language models. Why are they large? Well, the word large refers to the fact that these models are trained on lots and lots and lots of data, which is mostly text from the internet. And they have lots and lots and lots of parameters. We're going to talk about both of those things in this section. For now, just know that basically it's called large because it has lots and lots of the things that smaller language models have a fewer number of. Then language. This is referring to that natural language that we were talking about before. It's focused on natural language text. It's like speaking English as opposed to computer code. And then model. That one's pretty obvious too. It's a machine learning or AI model. So taken together, it's a machine learning model that is trained on lots of data and has lots of parameters, so therefore it's large, and it's focused on natural language. Pretty simple, right? All right. Now that you understand that, we can start diving deeper into the world of LLMs. I'll see you in the next lesson.